A disaster management team has been dispatched to the Dlangubo area of the KwaZulu-Natal north coast, where 13 congregants of a Pentecostal church were killed when a building collapsed on them last night. We're told 6 people were seriously injured and 10 suffered minor injuries. Emergency services say the possible cause of the building collapsing could be a result of heavy rain in the northern parts of the province. Okay, let's get more on the story. Let me bring in the SABC's Mlungisi Khumalo, who is en route to the scene. Mlu, thank you very much indeed for coming to us with this developing story. Just tell us, what do we know with regards to the possible cause of this? Some are saying it's rain. What have you confirmed?
Yes, unfortunately, Blaine, at the moment we are not at the church. We are currently en route there, making our way there. But for now, information and details are a bit sketchy. From what we understand from emergency rescue services, we were informed that because of the inclement weather in KwaZulu-Natal for the past few days, in particular yesterday, we understand that there were heavy downpours in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, in particular the north of the province where the Pentecostal Church was, in Mpangeni to be precise. Now we understand that because of the heavy rains last night, the roof of the church collapsed, and as a result, 13 people died. 10 were critically injured, and we understand that 6 of those people sustained minor injuries. At the moment, we do not have as much information as to what then transpired, but we also understand that emergency rescue services were there until the early hours of the morning to try and collect the bodies of some of the people that died. And we also understand now, as we talk to you, that the MEC for Kokta Numusa Dube is also making her way there just to examine the extent of the damage, and to also see and also comfort some of those people that lost their loved ones in that accident. And we've also now gotten confirmation that the Minister of Kokta, Mr. Mlungisi, will also make his way to that church. Now, Ben, also quite interesting enough, I was at that church just last year in July, to be much more precise. And when I was there, the president of the country, Mr. Ramaphosa, was also invited at the church by the pastor then. And during his address, he spoke to some of the congregants. And during his address, some of the congregants, some of the members, including the pastor, asked President Ramaphosa to build them a proper church. But of course, when we get there, we'll be able to examine the structure as well, Blaine.
So when you were there, I think it was last year you said you were there, what sort of structure did you see?
When he was there, it was just a makeshift tent. Now we understand that this was just a sermon which was particularly specially made for the president, because we understand that there was just a huge tent when the president was there. And we also understand then that this is a very popular church in the area of Mpangeni. This is a church that literally houses hundreds of people. But when we were there last year, it was just a makeshift tent. That was just designed only for the president when he was there. And of course, when the president saw the tent, he then spoke to the pastor and said he would see as to whether government could assist building a church. And also talking about the structure of the tent, Blaine, this morning we had an interview with Musi Maimane, who also happens to be a staunch Christian believer and who's also a pastor as well. I mean, he sent his condolences to some of the family members of some of the people that died. And he made it categorically clear that he hopes that because of this incident, he hopes that governments will start assisting some of these churches build proper structure. And if needs be, governments need to go there and send in some officials to see if these churches are properly built, Blaine. And of course, it has been a dark Easter period for the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Just yesterday alone, 10 people died in a horrific crash accident. And of course, this morning we've gotten that 13 people had died, which brings the number to 23. A terrible period for the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Indeed, it is not a Good Friday.
Yeah, a tragic story indeed. Mlungisi Khumalo live for us en route to the church. Mlu, when you get there, please come back to us immediately. We'll put you on air to get the very latest with regards to this tragedy on the KwaZulu-Natal north coast.